Columbus Small Animal Hospital, loving our work. I'm Dr. Jim Kramer. This is Dejeuner. She's a 2.5-year-old spayed female Papillon. She's weak and ataxic here, having trouble balancing and standing. She was brought in because her owners noticed that she hasn't been herself, and she has blood in her urine. And here we see she's actually bleeding right through her skin. So there's a lot of blood on her vulva that's running down into her abdomen, and then just big plaques, splotches of subcutaneous blood that's accumulating, leaving her blood vessels and pooling under the skin. She's lost enough blood that she's becoming weak. Here's an ultrasound of her urinary bladder. So Dejeuner is lying on her back. The ultrasound probe is at the top of the screen, and we can see all this material stuck to what looks like the ceiling here, which should be responding to gravity. And these are giant blood clots, or hematomas. Here we see free-floating fluid in the abdomen at the base of the bladder. It's not supposed to be there. This is also blood that has escaped blood vessels and is floating free in the abdomen. We did a blood smear, and here we see red blood cells, one white blood cell that looks blue now that we've stained it right in the middle. But what we don't see are platelets. We did a CBC, or complete blood count, which is a blood test, and her platelets actually were 0 on the test. So initially this looked like a rat poison case, and we were thinking we needed to treat Dejeuner with vitamin K and do a blood transfusion. It turned out that that was not the case. So this is the next day. We've initiated treatment yesterday, and you can see how much better it is already. She is stronger, much more confident. The blood now is being resorbed. We don't have more blood that's escaping her blood vessels, and so she's becoming much more normal. The color in her mucous membranes are normalizing. They're pink again. Their capillary refill time is short, like it's supposed to be, and she's responding very well to treatment. It would have been very easy to misdiagnose this as a warfarin poisoning, rat poisoning case. Here we can see the platelets are starting to come back. Yesterday the platelet count was 0 on our test, and today it's 30. Still very low. So initially we thought this was a rat poisoning case. We do see those enough to recognize them, but it turns out that it's not that. The prothrombin time and the activated prothrombin time that we tested were within normal limits, which does not fit with warfarin. So now this is the 3rd day, and we can see even more platelets are starting to regain now in response to the medication. Initially we were thinking that Dejeuner would need a blood transfusion in order to survive this. Were a warfarin case, she would need that. However, in this case, that actually would have been the wrong thing to do, because her blood cells are breaking down, and if we gave her more blood, it would just add more metabolites that were causing problems to her, and actually could have been life-threatening. So had we misdiagnosed this, which would have been very easy to do, then the outcome would have been much different. So a few days later, while receiving treatment, her platelet count now is up to 137. And a week later she comes back, and her platelet count is 244, which is normal. So poor Dejeuner has developed an autoimmune disease, which means her immune system is attacking her own healthy cells, and this is immune-mediated thrombocytopenia with a secondary immune-mediated hemolytic anemia. So had we given her a blood transfusion, it would have just been more fuel for the fire and would have made things worse. This is a primary idiopathic immune-mediated thrombocytopenia, which is a spontaneous condition where antibodies attack the platelet membrane, destroying blood platelets, and the blood loses its ability to clot. In this case, since it is not secondary to some other underlying disease, if we can rein in her immune system and get it to stop destroying her platelets, then she'll be fine. A dog, like a person, cannot live without red blood cells, And so if we can get her body to stop destroying her own, she's able to make them, then she'll live a good, happy life. As long as she gets her medication daily and it continues to work to control this problem, then she'll be a very happy dog. Columbus Small Animal Hospital, loving our work.